Hi students. In previous class, in yesterday class, we have discussed about what is DJANGO and history we have discussed, and we have discussed about top 5 features of DJANGO. And if anybody is missing the class, if you miss the classes, like 2 sessions, then you can talk to online team. They will send you the links. You can watch the previous classes videos. In first session, I've told about difference between client-side technologies and server-side technologies. Yesterday, I've told about what is Django, then history and features, like top 5 features. Yesterday, I have given explanation. And in today's class, we are going to discuss about what is virtual environment. Then, like first we'll see what is design patterns, what is FVC, what is MET, and we are going to discuss about all this. After that, we'll see what is virtual environment, why we should create. Then after that, Django installation, we'll see all one by one. And those who want the videos and the material, if you want, so you can register for the classes. So as I told before, like in a previous demo, like this Django will be for 45 to 50 days. And within in all these classes, like first we'll see the installation. After that, we'll see the installing Sublime IDE. Sublime IDE will install to work with Django, and then we'll discuss about working with creating project in Django, creating applications, creating multiple applications, and working with application level URLs, and then we'll discuss about working with using templates, working with HTML files. Templates means HTML files, and then we'll see how to use CSS, then JavaScript, jQuery, and then we'll see how to work with Bootstrap. So all these we'll see, and then we'll see how to work with template tags, template tag coding, a new language that we are going to use, and then we'll see how to work with models, then forms, model forms, advanced template features, advanced model features, and then we'll discuss about like security, session management, and then we'll discuss about like function-based views, class-based views, object relational mapping, middleware services, then web hosting. So publishing our website in internet, accessing with the domain name, like all these we'll see. And project also is there. Project will be like for 1 week or 10 days. And what all concepts you will learn in these, like all we are going to implement. Like in that project, the complete implementation we can see. And here in like for 2 months, like what all classes, what all you listen, all these, like all will be real-time examples only. So for from the beginning to ending, my notes is there. Like here you can see Django project is there, and then here you can see the notes here. Day-wise notes is there here. So all these notes I'll send to your mail IDs. So no need to depend on other material, because here we are going to discuss about like all these concepts, and my notes is available here. So this will be very simple and easily you can do practice. So here here I'm showing you one example here. So it will be like this. My notes will be like this. So it will show us what files to create, what code to write. So here we'll write more of Python code we are going to write. So in when you learn Python, when you are attending Python, so we may write less statements. But in Django, we are going to write more Python code. Here you can see Python code, then HTML files, all these are there. So from the beginning till the end, like this it will be. So with the help of my notes and the with recorded sessions, you can practice all the examples easily. All will be real-time examples only. We can consider that it is project-oriented training. After completing the classes or after completing the project, everything. So if you get chance to work on live projects, you can directly work. Okay, so this is just like a project-oriented training. All will be the real-time or live examples only we are going to discuss. So in yesterday class, what I said is, let me recap yesterday's things. So in yesterday class, as I told, Django is a backend web development framework. Like as I said before, Django is a framework. DJANGO is a framework. It is used for developing websites. Okay, so Django is completely developed in Python. So it is having Python files or modules is there. And here when we are working with Django, like it is a backend. So as I said, here we can say front end and back end, like a client side, server side. So here we'll work with client side technologies or front end technologies. Like we'll use HTML, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, DOM. All these are for designing the pages. And the backend like frameworks are there, like server side frameworks. They are used for writing the code. To write the code, we'll use this. Like a backend web development frameworks or server side technologies means many are there. Okay, like PHP is there, ASP, JSP, Java server pages, servlets, ASP.NET, ASP.NET MEC, Django, Ruby, Ruby on Rails, Node.js, many are there. Okay, so when many server-side technologies are there to create dynamic websites or dynamic web pages, then with Django, many features are there. Yesterday we have discussed all those. Django is completely different from other server-side or other backend technologies. So, like here we can see many new features which are not available in like other server-side technologies. So, client-side or front-end technologies are used to work with static pages. Static pages means HTML pages. So, whenever you want to display the same information to all the users accessing the website, like news, images, advertisements, then we can use HTML pages or static pages. Like here, backend technologies or server-side technologies are used to create dynamic pages. So in dynamic pages, from user to user, information will change. It won't be the same to all the users. And these dynamic pages are controlled by the web server in the server system. HTML pages are controlled by the browser. Browser can manage. So, but dynamic pages are controlled by the web server in the server system. So web server is a software or an application used to store and to run websites. Web server is an application which is in server system. Okay, so in previous demos I have told very clearly about all these things. So please watch so that you can get clarity about what all we have discussed. And here you can see it is completely developed using Django, completely developed using Python. And it is maintained by DJANGO Software Foundation. And you can see the official site here, djangoproject.com. And here today we are going to discuss about design patterns like MVC, MVT. What is the difference between using design patterns, without using design patterns? What is the difference? All we'll discuss in today's class. So we'll see what is the model, what is view, what is template. All these we are going to discuss. And here, when we are working with Django here, like here you can see top 5 features. In we can see the difference between Django and other server-side technologies. So yesterday, as I said, it is application development, website development is fast because 95% work is already done in Python. And from our side, we should give 5%. 5% why they left is for customization to do changes according to our requirement, 5%. But when you take other server-side technologies, backend technologies, like 95%, 5% we should give. Like every time we should do coding only. It will take days together to complete the project. Okay. So when you give 100% from your side, then for website development it takes time. And in Django, like it is loaded with all the features, like authentication. Authentication means like login page, registration page, change password, password recovery, all this. So security deals with authentication and authorization. Like it is used to give permissions to the users to access the websites. All this. Session management means if you want to maintain information about the session. So session means the time spent for browsing the website, from opening the website to till closing the site. And here you can see administration is there here. Like in every project, admin module will be there. So admin module is for maintaining the site, adding new information, deleting old information, like deleting old transaction details. Like all these is done by the admin module only. So here administration site will be there. So all these we can work with 1-2 lines. With 1-2 lines we can implement. And next is in Django we can implement security. Like we can work with SQL injection attack, cross-site request forgery, cross-site scripting, cross-site hijacking, then stopping robotic programs. Robot means they are automated programs which will execute. The like they are robot means automated programs. They'll fill the page and will submit the page. Like in many websites, in some websites, like automated programs will work. Like in websites, we'll see, we have to check. I'm not robot. Okay, then it will ask for capture or it will ask for image recognition, all these. So here we can restrict automated programs, robot programs. So they will execute, they'll fill the page, they'll submit. So robot or automated programs, they'll create unnecessary traffic, and this may leads to crash the application. Website may crash, and malware or virus may be affected. So here we should stop automated programs. Okay, so that we can do in Django. And here in Django, we can see scalability. Performance will be very good. Like while working with the websites, 1 lakh users, 10 lakh users can work at a time, and they can get the response. Like processing, waiting, all these will not be there here. So if the websites are developed in Java, like banking sites, online reservation sites, online payment sites, Tatkal reservations, like we can see lack of performance. Okay, many times like we can see the issues, problems will be there. But in Python, Django websites, so we'll not see that problems here. And Django is used for developing websites, versatile applications. It is for developing any type of application or any type of project can be developed. And here when we say about versatile applications, here we can develop content management sites, social networking sites, job portals, then the news portals, and we can develop scientific computing applications, highly secured applications like NASA or ISRO, or if you want to develop government applications or the websites related to any company or business organizations, all these we can develop. So all these are related to like what all the top 5 features are that are listed now. All these top 5 features are already published in DJANGO project, like in the website. So here we'll say djangoproject.com. djangoproject.com, and here we can see overview. So in overview, you can see ridiculously fast. Application development is fast. And next one is it is fully loaded with all the features and reassuringly secure and exceedingly scalable. So it can meet heaviest traffic demands. So incredibly versatile. Any type of application versatile applications, different applications, websites can be developed. And in yesterday class, I've told about like design patterns and all these. Like say while working with applications or projects, like in some softwares, in some languages or technologies, or else in some frameworks, design patterns are required. So we are going to use. Okay. So like MVC, many design patterns are there. GOF is there, Gang of Four, that is very popular. And like MVC is there, MVT is there, MVVM, then WCF, WPF, like many design patterns are there here. Okay, like when students are learning courses, like if students are learning Python, like core and advanced Python, so faculties may not discuss about design patterns. Okay, or if students are learning some other courses like C, C++, and CoreJava, Advanced Java, or if students are learning testing tools or some other courses, so faculties may not discuss about design pattern. Okay, so like students are learning the courses, and based on the notes given by the faculty, based on the material, or based on what faculty told in the class, then what they'll do is they'll work on the projects, and they are used by the clients. Okay, so based on the knowledge that they're having, they can follow their own pattern, they can follow their own style. So when they follow their own pattern, when they follow their own style, they can complete the projects, live or real-time projects, and the clients will use it. So clients can so clients can use the projects. They'll work successfully. Okay, so like when the programmers, when they're following their own pattern, when they're following their own style of doing projects, okay, then in that case, if any problem arises, the project development will pause. It will stop for a while, for a temporarily it will stop. Then they are responsible to solve the problem, and they can go to the next step or next level. They can go. Okay, so here like uh, like if the programmers, like if they are working on small projects, like which is for 1 month or 45 days or 2 months, and if a small team is working on the project like 4 members or 5 members, then we can say that like they are like they can do without design patterns, like small projects, because 4 or 5 members, they'll be in one location, and they can discuss what they're doing it, so they can complete the project successfully. So they can they'll have time for talk to each other, and they can discuss what is finished, what they have to do, all these they can discuss, and they can do it. That possibility is there here. Okay, so here when design patterns are required, when we should use is like when we are working on major projects, like when we are working on big domains, then which if the project is for 6 months or 1 year or like 2 years, then in that case design patterns are very useful. So you may be working with product based or service based, like in IT companies, some companies related to product based, and some companies will be related to service based. Product based means they'll develop software products or applications, and they will sell it to the clients, companies. And service based means the client will come to your office, to your IT company, and then your IT company will develop the projects according to their requirement. Service based means clients will come to your office, they will give you the requirements, and according to that you need to do the projects. So if it is product based or if it is service based, so if it is like major project, like if many people are involved, like let us say that the project is having modules, sub-modules, sub-modules, and like let us say 100 people are involved in the project, 100 or 200 people are involved in that project. Like people may be in different locations of the company. Like some may be in Hyderabad, some may be in Bangalore, some may be in Pune, some may be in US. Like all will coordinate and they'll do the work. Okay. So in that case, like design patterns are very, very important. Okay. So here when we say about the design patterns, so design patterns means many are there. Many are there. Like here I'm giving here you can see MVC and MVT. So MVC and MVT are they are approved and they are successfully used in IT companies for website development. So for developing websites, this MVC or MET architectures can be used. They are proved and they are successfully used in IT companies for website development. For developing websites, they are being used. Okay, so here when we say about design pattern will works like a blueprint. It works like a blueprint. Like when if anybody starts a project, like IT project or civil engineering projects, like construction related projects or irrigation projects, okay, or if it is a filmmaking. So when they start this, they should have a blueprint. So they should know what they are going to do. Okay, so blueprint we can call it as final print. So when you have final print or blueprint, then you can start execution. You can start the project. Okay. So without having any proper planning, without having any pakka planning, if anybody starts work, then it cannot be completed within the given time or within the given schedule. If you take IT projects also, if they are not having any proper planning, so it cannot be completed within the given time. Or when you take the other projects, civil engineering projects or irrigation projects, or if you take filmmaking and all, they should take permissions first. Then after taking the permissions, they have to start the other works. Then finally they'll do other things. If you take filmmaking, then first they'll do like a script writing, and after writing that they will go for pre-production, then on to sets, then post-production, then publicity, then releasing in theaters. Like all these are there. They have to do one by one. Okay. So design patterns are like perfect planning. With perfect planning, we can do the projects. Okay, and with the design patterns, so it is used. It is used to tell how to do the project. Like it will show you the steps, like how to do one by one, and it will show you the flow of the project, like how to start and how to end, and it is going to tell what problem is going to arise and how to resolve that problem. Okay, so when we follow any design pattern, it will tell what problem is going to come. Then how to resolve that problem also, it will tell problem and it will tell solution also. Then when we follow the design patterns which are already there. Okay, so when we follow the design patterns which are already there, project development will not pause, because we are following the pattern which is already used successfully in companies. So it will not pause, because they are telling the problem and they are telling the solution also. Like for example, MVC design pattern is there, MVC architecture is there. MVC architecture is used in Java. In Java it is used, in .NET, in Ruby on Rails it is used, in PHP it is used. MVC is very popular. Okay, so here while working with MVC, like when this design pattern is used, when this architecture is used in Java, .NET, Ruby, PHP, in all this. Okay, so in all these, then at one particular point, then it will say that to overcome this problem, you have to use another design pattern that is called a dependency injection. Okay, so while working with MVC, like when we are doing that project, like at one particular point, then it will say that like to overcome this issue, you have to use another design pattern in MVC, that is called dependency injection. Okay, because like they will be knowing what problem will be there, then how to handle it. Then they will say dependency injection, and with the dependency injection, we can see like how it is going to handle all these things. We are going to use. If dependency injection is not there, then we cannot work at that particular location. Then again, it will be very big drawback with that MVC design pattern. It is a big drawback only. Then companies may stop using this design pattern. Like all these issues will be there. Okay, so here when we say about the design patterns, MVC or MVT, anything, so these are very useful while working on major projects or big projects which are for 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. And when many people are involved, if a big team is working on the project, like 100 or 150 or 200 people are working, then design patterns we can design patterns are used here. Okay, so here like when we say about big domains like banking, insurance, then hotel, hospital, HRM, like all these domains are there. Okay, and here when we are working with these like design patterns, why we should go with design patterns is with design patterns, like work is separated here. So we can see the separation of the we can see the separation of the work. So we can split the work, we can separate the work. Okay, and with the design patterns, project development is easy and also maintenance is also easy, because we are separating the work in the project. We are separating the code in the form of folders, in the form of files. We are separating everything. Okay, like for example, like when we are doing a major project in other languages, in other technologies. Let us say we are doing major project without using MVC or MVT. Okay, so in that case, like when major project is done in other softwares, then like they have to create folders. They have to create folders. Like they have to create like many folders, like a business access layer, data access layer, presentation layer. Okay, layers in the project. They have to create many other directories, subdirectories. They have to create files. They have to store the data. Like in the files, they'll store Python code, like other languages code, like programming statements, then HTML files, CSS files, jQuery files, JavaScript files. Many will be there. All the files are stored. Okay, so in when the major project is done by the team, if when many people are there, like they will write the code. Okay, they will store it in the files, and the files will be in subdirectories, and all will be in server only. After writing the code, they will send the files to the server. Okay, so like whatever code developed by the programmers or developers, so there they have to do integration. Okay, so without design patterns, if they're doing major projects, so integration is another big issue there, because programmers are writing the code, they are that is in different files, it is in different subfolders, it is in different folders. Like that code should work, that code should integrate. Okay, so in that case, integration is another big task with the other projects which are developed using design patterns. They have to spend a lot of time, and they have to integrate the code so that it should work. Like without design patterns, if they are working on major projects, like morning when employees go to office, they should have meeting. So they have to discuss like what they have done, and what modules are there, what they are going to do today. Like many a lot of discussions will be there. And again, evening when they leave the office, they will have a meeting, and they have to discuss what they have done. Okay, again, means they have to talk, then only they can complete the project successfully. So without a discussion, without having meetings, without discussing about the code and all these, so they cannot do it. Okay, But if the projects are done with MVC or MVT or other design patterns, we can see work is separated. We can split the work. Okay. So with MVC or MVT, project development is easy and maintenance is also easy. Okay. So with design patterns, so there won't be any confusion while doing the projects. So clarity will be there. Like they'll be knowing what they are doing. Okay, because like that it is separated. So in MVC or MVT, like in that project, folders are created. We'll get folders. So we'll get folders, subfolders will get. In the subfolders, we'll create files. Create files means we'll write code in the files, like Java files or Python files or HTML files, CSS files, jQuery files, JavaScript files, all these will be there. Okay, so like there, even in MET also, here we are going to create folders. Okay, so like when we create folders and when we store the files, then again integration issues will not be there here. So here we may create folders, we may create subdirectories, we may create files, and we may write statements, but again integration issues will not be there. So that will works fine. So for integration, no need to spend time, it will works. Okay, so for that reason, then we have to use MEC or MET design patterns. We can use for software development. We can use it. Okay, so like when we follow the design patterns here, you may work on any big project. Okay, so in that case, it can be done easily. Okay, and here when project development is done, when maintenance is done, like they can identify in which file, in which folder that error is giving. So if everything is mixed up, like if everything is mixed up, then to identify the errors, it will takes time. Okay, so that's why these design patterns are very useful in real time, especially while working with major projects. In small projects also we can use. I'm not saying that in small projects we cannot use. If the project is for 1 month or 45 days or 2 months, okay, even in small projects also, for clarity we can implement design patterns. I'm saying about major projects. If you are using in major projects, in small projects also we can use. Okay, while working with any projects, or when we go for when you go for any approach, then these design patterns we can use it. So in software development, we can see different approaches will be there. Okay, so different approaches we can see, like we can see about like DB first, model first, code first is there. Okay, so we can see this. So DB first means like this is very old approach. Like in IT companies, when they do the project, so they will create a database, they'll create tables, they will write stored procedures, triggers, like related to database. They'll finish the work. Okay, then like before working with database, they will do analysis and they will do designing. For database tables, they'll draw ER diagrams, entity relationship diagrams, and for like projects and all applications, they will use UML diagrams, Unified Modeling Language, and then like working with database, creating tables, creating stored procedures, creating triggers related to database. They'll do. After that, coding will start. Coding, then testing, all these will be there. Okay, and next one is model will be there. Like model means we'll call it as entity model. Okay, that is also coding only. And next one is code first is there. So code first means we are going to use it. That is the latest approach. Code first. So first coding only. Like we'll not create tables, and then creating procedures, triggers. All these will not do here. So code first is the latest approach. It comes under reverse engineering. Okay. So reverse engineering means we are starting from the last. Okay. See, in before many years back, coding used to be done in the last, like analysis, designing, tables creation. All these will be there now. After that, finally coding and testing. They'll do it. So code first means we are going in reverse. Like first we'll start with coding only. Okay. So in when we follow code first mechanism in real time in companies, they'll follow code first only. Okay. So if I'm not explaining all these in the class, and in the companies, if they say code first, and then you will feel like our trainer didn't explain about code first mechanism. Okay, code first mechanism means we are directly starting with coding only. That is like reverse engineering. We are coming from last year. Okay, so when you are working with Python, when you learn core and advanced Python, in database programming, SQL commands are used. So SQL commands are used. SQL commands are used. So in with SQL commands, like we'll use select, insert, update, delete, create, alter, drop. All these we'll use. Okay. In Django, we are not going to use SQL. We are not going to use. Okay. So we are going to create tables using Python code. Okay, only with Python code, tables creation. Okay, then creating web pages, then integration, everything with Python coding only. Everything with Python coding. So here we'll not create before designing the application, before creating the website, creating the pages, like creating tables in database, and the tables accessing here. Like in Java, we'll use Jdbc, no? Advanced Java, Jdbc. So here we'll not do that procedure. So here we are going to create tables with Python code only. Like that is called ORM, Object Relational Mapping, that we'll discuss. Object Relational Mapping will be there. Okay. So whatever approach we are doing, like in software development, that is the latest approach. Okay. So in MVC, we can go with the code first. In Django also, we can implement code first, we can use it. So in code first, here we can work with MET or MEC or MET design patterns. We can use it. Okay. So here I'm saying about code first. So here I'll say first DB first, database first, database tables. Okay, stored procedure triggers, everything. Model first is there. Model first means we'll call it as entity data model. So this will works as a mediator between tables and programs. Okay, table and application. Model first. We'll say entity data model. And now here we'll say code first. First directly coding only. Okay, there we'll create whatever code we write. Based on the code, tables are created. Okay, so we are not going to write in Django. We are not going to write like create table, table name, or insert into table name values, or update table name, select as from. We will not write. So we'll write Python code. That Python code will work with creating tables and executing other queries. It will do it. So here in MET architecture, here you can see like here three are there. Like we can see model view template is there. Model view template. Okay. So we'll discuss about these layers here. In MET design pattern, MET architecture, three layers are there. Okay. So MVC or MET, it is a theory part. That theory part we can use in softwares. It is the theory part that we are implementing in softwares, in frameworks, in technologies we are using. MVC we are implementing in MVC is implemented in Java, .NET, Ruby, PHP. It is implemented. MET design pattern, it is the architecture. That design pattern we are using in Django. In Django we are using. Okay, so MVT says create model, create view, create template. Then we are implementing in Django. We are implementing here. So here MVT architecture means this is the actual diagram. MVT design pattern or MVT architecture, this is the actual diagram. But in beginning demo classes, we cannot discuss this. Okay, so but as of now, here I'm giving like this. Here, for understanding easily, I'm giving like this. So here when we say template here, okay, so template will call it as a HTML file is called as template. HTML files, it is template. Okay, so template means we'll call it as a presentation layer or data access layer. And here next is a view is there. So view will call it as a business access layer or service layer. So in any project, in not only here, in any project, business access layer works as a middle layer. It works as a middle level layer. So using business access layer or service layer, we can maintain the values given in the web pages. We can maintain the values. We can store the values given in web pages or else in application. Application means website. Okay. So business access layer is used to store or used to maintain the values given in the web pages, or used to maintain the values given in application. Application means website. So view means here we are going to create Python file. Python file that is views.py. That is views.py. Okay. So views.py we are going to create here. It is Python file. And next one is a model is there. Model means we'll call it as a data access layer, or we'll call it as a repository layer. Data access layer, or we can call it as a repository layer. So model will take data from the view and it will send it to the database like SQLite, or it can be SQLite, or it can be MySQL or SQL Server, Oracle, any other database. Okay, so here in model means again it is Python file only. We are going to create models.py. For view, views.py will create views.py Python file, and model means models.py, again Python file. In Python file we'll write the code. Okay, so in a model, while working with model, we'll not use SQL commands, we'll use ORM, object relational mapping. Again, it is Python code only. Okay, so here you can see templates, HTML files, view means Python file, model means Python file. All these are there. See, now I'm not explaining in detail. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to explain in detail about these layers. And then by default 3 layers are there, but we are going to implement entire architecture in projects. Entire architecture. So entire means more than 3 layers. So when you are using REST API, DJANGO REST API, in our classes we'll discuss. We'll see 2-3 examples on REST API, representational state transfer, application program interface. REST API is used to run the websites in different devices. Like if you want to run in Android or iPhone, like if you want to execute in any other devices, then DJANGO REST API is used. Like if you are including REST API, or if you are including some other web services, or if you are including Angular in the project, like layers, number of layers are added to the project. Okay, all these we are going to discuss in detail in tomorrow's class. And in tomorrow's class, I'll tell what is virtual environment, then why we are creating, and then we'll discuss about what is how to install virtual environment, how to install Django, then how to create project, how to create application, how to run the website. Application means website. How to run the website. All these we are going to discuss in tomorrow's session. Okay. So those who are not yet registered, please register for the course. Then I will send you the recorded videos, recorded sessions. Like every day I'm recording, I will send the recorded videos. Notes also I'll send to your mail IDs. And in my classes, I will give you a technical support also, not just explaining the concepts. What all doubts you are having, you can ask while class is going on. And if you are unable to run in your project, in your system, the examples, or at the time of installation, if any issues are there, you can talk to me. You can send me the mail. I will give you the solution. So I will give you technical support. You can interact with me every day. You can students can talk what all doubts you have. If you are not understanding any concepts, if you are asking me for repetition, I will repeat. All these will be there. Okay. And as I said, when you register for the course, then I will be sending you the UI classes notes and videos also. Like if you are not strong in UI technologies, front-end technologies, I can provide you my material, and my videos also I can provide. Okay, that I can do. Okay, students, I am stopping now. Tomorrow we'll continue.